So I had a good friend while I was going through this training in mind body therapy. She was going through it too. She has since died of recurrent thyroid cancer. Most people don't die of thyroid cancer, right? It's incredibly easy to treat, but in her case, she had a second recurrence and then a third recurrence. And this is very personal, but I'll just say it. In the course of our friendship, we had a falling out. And the falling out had to do with the time that she was angry with me and couldn't tell me that she was mad at me. And the thing she was mad at me about, I just learned right before she died, but it was so minor. Basically, what she was upset about was one day in our school, she was upset and sitting in a circle with a group of our friends, and I appeared and said, "Oh, so-and-so, what's wrong?" And she was crying and she didn't want to tell me. And apparently I asked a second time, and knowing me, I can get quite pushy. I think I probably asked a third time. And she couldn't say to me, "Melanie, just don't ask me, just sit with me and let me cry." And I didn't know that. I wasn't sensitive enough in that moment to know that that's what she was saying. Years went by. She got married, she had a kid, she got divorced, she got remarried. And I heard through the grapevine that she was sick again. And I felt like, and she reached out to me on Facebook and she said, "I'm so sorry I could never tell you when I was upset with you. I have the same problem with my husband now and it drives him crazy. I wish I could have told you." Anyway, what I want to stress in the story is the word outpicturing. In my training, we learned this word outpicturing, which has to do with the way that our illnesses have to do with an emotional issue that we're working on. Thyroid cancer would have to do with being able to speak your truth because it's in this part of the body, right? And this is where the thyroid is located. And the fact that she couldn't tell people when she was angry with them, in my mind, and I'll never know if she felt this way, but it goes all the way back to, in her case, she was sexually abused as a little girl and was told to never tell anyone or she would be killed. So all these years later, she could not get over that experience. I'm not phrasing it well. I don't mean she couldn't get over the sexual abuse. I mean she couldn't get over the thought that she was allowed to now tell people when she was angry with them. That's outpicturing, the way that an issue, everybody has issues in our lives, regardless of, sexual abuse, whatever it is, where we get an idea about life that isn't true, and then we can't seem to get over it unless we have help, unless we have support. So in my work, I feel like what I kept trying to do in my friendship with her was to say, it's terrible what happened to you when you were a little girl. I honor you for getting through it and surviving. Now you're an adult. Would you like to make a new choice? Would you like to now tell people when you're angry with them? There was no way that I could say that to her because she ended the friendship. But then when she died, I felt like, oh, I was so beyond heartbroken because I felt like had she learned this, perhaps something might have been more efficacious. And there was no opportunity to tell her that. So I try to work with that in my own life, and I try to work with it with clients, how to help us all get over our blind spot, whatever it is. We each have one. We each have more than one. Nothing's wrong with us. It's okay to be human. And we need help we can't do it by ourselves. We need to support each other in doing it.